we're back with Marty. And Marty, the Sens are in the playoffs, could have a nice cushion for the third spot in the Atlantic with a win tonight. Do you think they've sent a message now to management that the Sens should be buyers at the trade deadline?
Absolutely. I know they're dealing with a ton of injuries, but you look at their record, 10-3-1 in the last 14 games, a 5-game win streak in that span. They had a 6-game winning streak earlier. They can get hot. And if you look at that group of players, they have shown the Senators front office, hey, we are in the battle. There was a lot of teams in the murky middle in the Eastern Conference, especially in the Atlantic Division. And it seems like the Ottawa Senators are one of those teams that has stepped up, been on top of the pile, right? And saying, we are the best team out of this group. And I feel that the last 14 games has given a direct message. They didn't have Linus Solmark. They've had a ton of injuries, and they're still winning. Look, we are legit. We are a playoff team. Give us some help, and we can make some noise when the postseason comes around.
Yeah, I think it has been a surprise for most after seeing the first half of the season or so. Now, the trade deadline is a month and a day away. If the Sens do go shopping, what and who should they be targeting?
Well, I'm looking at the forward group, right? They do have injury right now, and you don't want to go into the postseason with a couple of guys off and say our roster is not the same. So I would look at a top 6 forward, right? Maybe even a center. I would move Giroux and Perron probably on the third line. If you had that power, the Pinto, the Norris, the Tkachuk, the Patterson, Giroux, Perron, you put all of those guys in your top 9. There's not a lot of teams that could compete with that. So I'm looking at Ottawa adding a top 6 forward to the group that they already have. It would slot everybody in a better role, I think. And look, you can always add defense, but I feel like the group of defensemen with the Ottawa Senators is playing at a high level. Sanderson has been so good lately. Shabbat has been great. Zub has been great. So look, maybe some depth on defense, but the priority would be a top 6 forward with the Ottawa Senators.
Now, the Senators have another big swing game tonight against the Lightning. So when it comes, well, of course, when it comes to playoff positioning in the standings, which of these two teams is a bigger playoff threat? Because the Lightning have the pedigree, but the Sens, as we've been talking, look like the younger and hungrier team as of late.
Well, I am going to go with experience, maturity, and the pedigree, and I'm going to say in the playoffs, in a 7-game series, I think the Tampa Bay Lightning can definitely do some damage and surprise people in the playoffs. Kucherov, Point, Hedman, Vasilevsky, even the coach, John Cooper, he's been there, done that, back-to-back Stanley Cups, 3 in a row in the finals. So I'm looking at the Tampa Bay Lightning saying nobody wants to play them in the playoffs. The Ottawa Senators, I think people would look at the roster and say, oh, they are a young, exciting team, but they have not done it in the postseason. So unfortunately for Ottawa, I think that people are more afraid of a team like Tampa than they are of the Senators, and that's normal. The experience and the winning that Tampa has done definitely sets them apart between the two teams.
Yeah, that veteran experience is just so valuable. Now, puck drop between the Sens and Lightning is at 7 Eastern tonight on TSN 5.